Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to our June 17, 2025 City of Little Rock Board of Directors meeting. We would like to welcome those in attendance as well as those watching and streaming online. Madam Clerk, if you would, please call the roll.
Director Miller, Director Richardson, Director Webb, Director Peck, Director Hines, Director Lewis, Director Campuris, Director Phillips, Director Adcock, Vice Mayor Wyrick, Mayor Scott.
Present. We'll now recognize, Vice Mayor Warwick for the invocation.
Thank you, Mayor. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and for allowing us to meet in this public forum. We're here to discuss topics that will benefit the people in our community and our country. We want to think about how we can make life easier for everyone. Give us the wisdom to make the right decisions. Let us not make biased decisions, but decisions based on solving the problems. Be our leader during this meeting. Show us the way because you've chosen us to be here. Give us direction, open our eyes to solutions, and help us make our city great. We thank you for our city employees. They work hard for our citizens, protect our first responders as they are constantly being challenged in their daily work. Be with each of us as we travel home. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Will you please stand for Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have three modifications for today's agenda, two additions and one deferral. Is there a motion for M1?
Second.
There's a motion, or for M1 and M2, is there still so moved, Director Webb, and a second from Vice Mayor Wyrick? All those in favor,
Yes.
please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, if you would. We just had it as read, but the deferral is item number 7. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the consent agenda.
A resolution authorizes the city manager to amend the contract with Olson Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $20,000 for additional engineering and design services for the Bella Rosa Bridge Improvement Project and for other purposes, funding from the limited tax general obligation capital improvement bonds. A resolution to amend Little Rock, Arkansas Resolution Number 16,668, April 15, 2025, to enter into a contract amendment with Wagner General Contractors Incorporated an amount not to exceed $208,633.42 for additional renovations and repairs to Fire Station Number 9 and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to execute a change order with Renaissance Construction and Renovation LLC and AJS Homes in an amount not to exceed $31,850.82 for sewer line developments and additions at 4422 Holt Street and 4418 Holt Street, Little Rock, Arkansas, and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to accept and enter into a subaward grant agreement with the Arkansas Tri-Region Energy and Environment Innovation Coalition for $2,032,500 to utilize subawarded funds for EPA Climate Pollution Reduction Grant CPRG project implementation activities, including LED streetlight replacement and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a 3-year contract with Insight Software LLC in an amount not to exceed $100,000 plus applicable taxes and fees to purchase financial reporting software for the Department of Public Works and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a construction services contract with the Griffin Group Incorporated, an amount not to exceed $131,000 plus applicable taxes and fees and a 19% contingency fee if needed for construction of a new restroom facility at Reservoir Park and for other purposes. That concludes the consent agenda.
There's a motion second before we go. Director Hines has his hand.
I had two questions. On one, on the Bella, is this something out of the ordinary? Yes. I mean, I know we've got to go to the Corps for a permit. Why are, and I didn't, sorry I didn't catch this last week, but.
One second, Manish. Allie, can we get the microphone? Or Queena? right, there you go, Manish.
Okay, good evening again. This is for a bat survey that the Army Corps of Engineers has asked us to do for that project.
Are we taking down trees and stuff in the process of this is it for the
No,
long,
it's-
what is it, the long northern
It's
brown?
it's a
long-eared
bridge
bat?
replacement project, so when we do bridge replacements, the Corps sometimes requires us to do bat surveys, like for bats.
No, I understand what you're
So-
saying, because it has to do with the northern long-ear bat. I know exactly. I know exactly what it is, but
Yes, sir.
normally that's requested when we're taking out trees and doing clearing.
Hmm.
Do we have any issues with bats using the bridge abutment or the existing?
I am not aware of exactly what the circumstances are, but they have come back and asked us to complete that survey, and that's what this change order is for. I can get you more information for
I'd
sure.
appreciate some more information, because this
Yes,
seems like
sir.
a little bit of overreach on the Corps'
Yes, sir.
part.
Will
Most of
do.
what I know about this has to do with that. And then the other question I have is on item 3,
Mhm. Three.
which is, I think, Kev.
The CPRG? Oh, it's not me.
No, I think that's Mr. Howard's project.
Director Howard?
So,
Yes, sir.
Kevin, why exactly are we having to spend another 31,000? Is this the area that we already did a bunch of lot improvements, or is that further up the hill from this?
So originally, what we did was infrastructure improvements that was done over there was just for water. We didn't have, it wasn't any houses over there that was developed on that street except one. And so further down the hill, you don't have any sewer. So we had to tie in to the new main.
And we didn't have this programmed on the front end?
No,
Do we have an engineer working on this?
the engineer would have came from Little Rock Water Reclamation Authority to tell us where to go as far as the infrastructure
Right,
improvements.
but when we were planning this, we didn't use an professional civil
No.
engineer to do this?
No.
Okay, thanks.
The streets was already there when we came, it just didn't have any new housing.
All
Right?
right, all right, thank you.
Director Adcock?
Just for the motion. She had,
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now go to citizens' communication. Ms. Linda Bumblebee.
Good evening to everyone. My name is Miss Linda Bumblebee Williams, and I'm here because whenever I hear or we hear anything that may be adjusting for Madison Heights, we have to show up. I want to know what is going on and what is going to happen with Madison Heights. I mean, everybody giving double talk here, double talk there. But the people that live there, we have 150 families that lives there. Not 150 people, but 150 plus families that live there. And it's getting down to the 11th hour. The 11th hour is August the 1st. People are going through mental changes, all of this kind of stuff. So we've been hearing different things. It might be sold, it might be this, it might be that. And I heard this. This is hearsay, so I want y'all to know. I would like some clarity, and the people that live out there need clarity, and the citizens of Little Rock and Arkansas. Why is Madison Heights the only housing complex that is being sued, and then the people that live there is being disbarred and moved out, and they didn't have nothing to do with it? Now, we understand that y'all didn't have nothing to do with it, but there should be somewhere in this world that somebody somewhere would mind helping families, and this is a nice place to live. People been living there for 20-some years, and I'm one of them. So, 1 year, 4 months, 2 years, That's not no time for nobody to be talking about getting ready to move. And this, what is going on with the people of Madison Heights and how this has been playing out, it ain't nothing but a whole bunch of double talk. I'm not the smartest cookie in the bunch, but I'm sure not the dumbest, and I know good and well something and somebody can step up and do something. Yes, sir, you want to say something to me?
I was trying to get the mayor's attention. Do you want me to follow up on this, Mayor?
Yes. Well, not right now. Because she still has her minutes.
Now, I don't have any more minutes. My minutes is, please, Mr. Miller said it best. The government bailed out the airlines, okay? Then they turn around and bailed out the government bailed out the car industry. These are people just like the car industry. Now, my time is up.
You got a few more seconds because we had a
But
interjection.
I still want you to understand, if the government can do that for a business, this is a business. These are people's business. This is where people live and have been living for the last 25 years. And for the double talk that's been going on, we need answers that we can understand and that y'all can understand. Just give it to us straight. Thank you. That's my time.
Thank you. Mr. John Abdullah.
Good evening, Mayor and Directors. My name is John Abdullah, and I've been living in Madison Heights since 2021. And I've been at the last few meetings that we have had here concerning Madison Heights. And no one, what the lady said with open prayer, she made the statement that she's there to serve the people and the public. Now, that's what she said. That's what all y'all was voted in here for. Okay, now, we're not asking no one to go in business and own nothing. We ask just like Mr. Miller's made the statement. If the government can bail out some corporations, why did everybody, those that are against it, helping people to keep their homes? If the shoe was on the other foot, your mother, your grandmother, your children, either you was out there looking for some help, you would want someone to help you. So all we asking for, we didn't make the problem. We all know you all didn't make the problem. So why do we have to suffer for it? I mean, why? Just like I said, if the shoe was on the other foot, ask yourself, what would you want to do? Would you want someone to help you? Would you want someone to put you out for something that you had no cause of, have nothing to do with, and you're able to help me, but you won't? But I was voted in to do this here, to be concerned about the citizens and the people, make sure they have a home and health care and all this here. But when I get the opportunity, when the time comes for me to do it, I fold my hand, I look the other way, I find all kinds of excuses. For what? I mean, what would you vote for? What did you want for a position that you don't want to be responsible and hold up your end of the bar? You were voted in, the people put trust in you because they voted you in. And when it's time to do, don't nobody want to do. Those that want, I'm not talking to the ones that voted for, I'm talking about the ones that voted against. Why? And just like the prayer you just made when you opened it up, that was one of the first things you said. For the peoples. To vote to serve the peoples. Where the servants at now? When you got people about to lose their home, and not only their homes, you got somebody in there losing their life because of the stress. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
God
Abdullah.
bless you.
Ms. Barbara Jones. Ms. Jones?
Yes, my name is Barbara Jones. I have been in Madison Heights since it has been there, 1 year later anyway, because I was in Village Square for 19 years. I'm not a runarounder. When I get up in place, I want to call it home, try to make it home. Yes, where do we find out information? Who told you this? Who told you that? I went to a meeting. That was the whole issue of having the meeting, was to talk about it. But that is something that you should have known if you were there. We mainly love to be where we are so that we won't have to be running here, running there. There are bus systems that come through there. There are churches that are over there where we do go to. There are hospitals. That is the location where most people want to be, because I don't think there is one person who has been looking for an apartment has not signed up when they were first put over there, when they were looking for an apartment. People want to be where they want to be and stay where they get. I've been coming to lots of these meetings, but what is being done? We want to have our things done correctly, morally, mentally, and legally. When you sign a lease, you think you're going to be there, it'll say one thing. The lease now has on there water. We weren't paying water. It's not on my lease. My lease is not up until August. But they want you to come in and start all over because they say that they are missing them. They don't have them. My file should be that tall because of how long I've been up there. I would go to meetings. I go in there with just a smile. I didn't always run my mouth, as people would say. I come just to look to hear what's going on, if anything's going on, if anybody's doing anything, and why they are or if they aren't. If you've been put in a position to do something, help people. Help each other. They'll say this is a lot of people. The reason I'm in this state is because it was my parents' retirement state. That's why I'm back in Arkansas and would like to stay where I am instead of having to go where someone will put you, and there'll probably be something done about that too once I get there, if even I go there. Because people will say, why don't you move? If that's the case, why don't you buy me a home and I will move? Different things are being done to people that should be done correctly, legally. That's my big issue. Morally, also. Because there are things that could be done. Yes, could be, if you would, as he said, if it was on your foot.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Mr. Junior Tellez?
Good evening. My name is Junior, and it's very nice to see you guys again. I am here representing the newly formed Neighborhood Association Stop Zion Street Project. And first, I want to thank you all, especially the mayor and this board, for agreeing to hold another community meeting concerning this project. I'll be honest, it took 2 months to get here, but I guess just that's how it works here. Seriously, thank you for making this next step possible. Over the past few weeks, we've spoken to other communities who face similar development challenges, and they all stressed how important it is to give fair notice and planning time. So that's why we're here today, to respectfully offer several potential dates for the next meeting with at least 30 days notice, so our neighbors have time to prepare and attend. We can lock down a date with you guys here after this meeting. In the meantime, we're asking the city to direct the contractors working on Zion Project to pause all construction activity until after this meeting takes place. We're concerned that the continued work before the meeting could cause further damage to the neighborhood, whether environmental, structural, or communal. But more than that, it risks giving the impression that the city is rushing this project through without allowing taxpayers, the very people whose federal dollars are funding it, a real opportunity to review, give input, and raise their concerns. We believe a pause, not a complete stop, shows respect to the neighborhood and everyone who lives there. It will quiet down the many voices who accuse the city of possible, corruption and backroom deals concerning this project. It's a chance to prove that transparency and community voice actually matters. And last, we hope that the same representatives who attended the other meeting, those from planning, housing, and other departments, as well as the contractors, will join us again so the conversation can continue with clarity and consistency. Thank you again for this opportunity and for choosing to engage with the people of John Barrow. We're here ready to work for you, and we ask that you pause construction just long enough for our voices to be heard. Thank you for your time, and you guys have a happy 4th of July.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the group items.
An ordinance to condemn the property located at 6317 West Markham Street, Little Rock, Arkansas, as a structural fire and health hazard, to provide for summary abatement procedures, to direct city staff to take such action as is necessary to raise and remove structure, to declare an emergency, and for other purposes. An ordinance to amend Little Rock, Arkansas ordinance number 22,527, October 2nd, 2024, to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to amend the sole source agreement with the Central Arkansas Library System, to extend the contract for an additional 6 months, an amount not to exceed $50,000, to provide support for the Be Mighty After School and Summer Meal Program, to declare an emergency, and for other purposes. An ordinance to amend Little Rock, Arkansas ordinance number 22,592, March 18th, 2025, to authorize the city manager to amend the sole source agreement with City Year Incorporated for amount not to exceed $50,000, to declare an emergency, and for other purposes. First reading.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Second reading.
An ordinance to condemn the property located at 6317 West Markham Street, Little Rock, Arkansas, as a structural fire and health hazard, to provide for summary abatement procedures, to direct city staff to take such action as is necessary to raise and remove said structure, to declare an emergency. An ordinance to amend Little Rock, Arkansas ordinance number 22,527, October 2nd, 2024, to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to amend the sole source agreement with the Central Arkansas Library System, to extend the contract for an additional 6 months and an amount not to exceed $50,000, to provide support for the Be Mighty After School and Summer Meal Program, to declare an emergency. An ordinance to amend Little Rock, Arkansas ordinance number 22,592, March 18th, 2025, to authorize the city manager to amend the sole source agreement with City Year Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $50,000, to declare an emergency. Second reading.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Third and final reading.
An ordinance to condemn the property located at 6317 West Markham Street, Little Rock, Arkansas, as a structural fire and health hazard, to provide for summary abatement procedures, to direct city staff to take such action as is necessary to raise and remove said structure, to declare an emergency. An ordinance to amend Little Rock, Arkansas ordinance number 22,527, October 2nd, 2024, to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to amend the sole source agreement with the Central Arkansas Library System, to extend the contract for an additional 6 months and an amount not to exceed $50,000, to provide support for the Be Mighty After School and Summer Meal Program, to declare an emergency. An ordinance to amend Little Rock, Arkansas ordinance number 22,592, March 18th, 2025, to authorize the city manager to amend the sole source agreement with City Year Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $50,000, to declare an emergency. Third and final reading.
Members of the board, we've had 3 readings. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now open up
We have
Three emergency clauses.
3 emergency clauses. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now open up the public hearing for item number 9.
An ordinance authorizing the right-of-way abandonment of a portion of the East 16th Street right-of-way, approximately 55 feet in width by 181 feet in length, located immediately west of Boyd Street in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for other purposes. First reading.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Second reading.
An ordinance authorizing the right-of-way abandonment of a portion of the East 16th Street right-of-way, approximately 55 feet in width by 181 feet in length, located immediately west of Boyd Street in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. Second reading.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it.
An ordinance authorizing the right-of-way abandonment of a portion of the East 16th Street right-of-way approximately 55 feet in width by 181 feet in length, located immediately west of Boyce Street in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. Third and final reading.
Members of the board, we've had 3 readings. Are there any questions?
Gotta close the
Close the hearing, I'm sorry. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. City Attorney, if you want to share about the item, what we'll do is we'll do a special called meeting on the 8th at 4 o'clock for, if you'll just explain that we'll have an N4 legislation.
Yes, there's a contract that the city needs to have renewed, which has expired, but there were a couple of details we had to work out, couldn't get it done and finished today, so we really need the contract. So I'm going to have that reworked that will ratify any actions to date and will renew the contract for a period of 1 year.
Thank you. Any questions before we adjourn? Director Peck?
Thank you. I'm going to pass out these to all of my colleagues on the board. We just had a very good meeting with City Manager Hubbard. I said it for the first time, not Chief. That's probably the only time I'm going to say City Manager Hubbard. And with Chief Durham and Chief Doan. And sorry y'all weren't there. We talked a whole lot about building services. Sure. But Joan and I have been working hard on this, and we're making some progress. I just want you all to take a look at specifically the fire stations that might be in your ward, to see some of their wants and needs. We're still trying to raise funds to address some of the, I guess, soft items, not the big HVAC units and things like that. So take a look at what's going on in your ward, and if you can help us, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions, Director? There's a motion. Second. There's a second. Direct
Attention this week that we no longer are doing City of Little Rock IDs, that has been closed. What brought to my attention was when police officers started trying to find IDs for homeless people, and they found that was closed. I want to go back several years ago. We spent 2 years with City Manager Moore looking at cities all over the United States. We brought together people from all over Little Rock, business people, banking people, people from neighborhoods, and others, to look at how you have a City of Little Rock ID. We found that it does not only serve one population, it serves senior citizens that no longer has a driver's license. It serves students who goes to a school who does not have a student ID. It served the homeless people that when our police officers stopped them, they had a way of identifying them. It served disabled people who do not have a driver's license. And what people used it for was for banking, for business, for showing who they were in our community. This was done after, as I said, 2 years of studying, and it has been very, very successful. The legislature had an issue, and part of it was stopped, which was okay, because we still were servicing the homeless, the disabled, the senior, the students, and others with their everyday needs. You cannot rent a piece of property in Little Rock without an ID. And this was voted on by this city board. And I'm trying to figure out how could this go away without us discussing it, without the city board voting to do away with it. Evidently the office is closed. The staff has been reassigned to another department. And it's very hard to take things away from those in the most need in our city. And so I would like for you next week to be able to talk to us. I'm sorry. I'm very emotional about this because I know of the people that now there's no hope for having an ID, a picture of themselves where they can live like each one of us in this room I would like to know what the plans are, because when one part of it went away, we made some suggestions about contacting the Catholic diocese about taking this over, or finding some place in this city that this could be done, even by a nonprofit, so that people could continue to live just like we live in this city, as citizens, as residents, with our ID to show that I belong here. So I would like that information, please.
Yes, ma'am, and first and foremost, I not only agree with you, I empathize with you. You were, alongside our legislative team, went to the Capitol to speak against this particular bill. But I want to remind you and the members of the board that once, we did share with the board that once it passed, if it became unlawful for us to do this at the City of Little Rock, we shared that with you. I know it's been quite some time since we had the legislative session, but we did bring that before the city board. We are actively looking for nonprofit organizations to take that part, just like what you just shared with the Catholic Diocese and anyone else who would want to do that. To my knowledge, and I'll double back between now and next Tuesday, no one has said yes, but no one's been reassigned. The members of that particular team were a part of that same office. It's just that they were assigned to that particular function, but because that function is no longer there, their duties have been reassigned, and there's a lot of work to do in that area. But again, it is illegal for us to operate it. We shared that with the city board several weeks ago, and then on top of that, the city at large is at risk of federal lawsuits and loss of funding, as well as criminal liability. And the city attorney can share a little bit more detail with you all on that. But that did come before the board. It did. But I can share. I will double back and get any information on the progress or lack thereof.
It became illegal on one portion of it. It did not become illegal on homeless, senior citizens, disabled people, or students.
And Director Adcock, I'm sharing with you again, we shared that with the city board. I don't have the legislation, even with the homeless. I will tell you that I may not be right on the number when I say this, but a significant, vast, maybe even 98% was was operating for other measures, not for homeless. And again, we are abiding by the law. I want to keep it open. So I just want to be clear. I want to keep it open. We fought against it, but we got to abide by the law. And right now, the current administration is not taking any corners when it comes to criminal liability, as well as threats of losing federal funds. And I stand on that.
We cannot put a price tag on the needs of the homeless and of people in this city that has the need for these IDs.
I agree with you. However, but our residents would lose a loss of funding on many different things. We just for the record, we've had to cleanse websites because we could lose U.S. Department of Transportation federal funds to pay for the roads and resurfacing and things of that nature. They are very serious. There are cities that are being sued right now. We are operating from the guidance of our city attorney. We made that. We've shared all that over the last several weeks. So
I would like to have a list of the outreach to find others that would take this over, because I would like to work on finding someone because of the needs in this community for these people.
Me too, and I'll get with Miss Amber, and we'll get that for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, I agree with you. Anyone else? There's a motion. Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned. Members of the board, also remember we'll have a special call meeting for that item that the city attorney just shared.